Welcome to 7th episode of Media Literacy Lecture Series of SOJNMS IGNOU. In today's context, there are two aspects of media we are going to cover it. Before going to the title of the session, let me introduce the concept basically. We are very much a part of media life. And media gadgets, media platform, various media components are integrated into our daily routine life. Have you thought about two aspects of media components, media content, media information delivery system? One is what kind of information is being delivered to us and how is being delivered to us. You apply these two questions to any component of media content. Being an individual, being a country, or group, community, ideology, or whatever, wherever, whichever component, apply these two questions. What and how? What kind of content and what kind of importance? How is being framed? How is being presented? What and how? If you ask these questions, we will be able to understand two aspects of media system: representation and stereotypes. That's the main focus of this episode. We are looking at this two component of media system, representation and stereotypes, from the media literacy perspective. It's very critical. Media needs to be handled in a very critical manner. That's a fundamental concept of media literacy. But while looking at the media content, we had to be more specific on these two aspects. Reason is, media is omnipresent. It's a part of our life in a very extensive way, but not in a physical form. It helps us to form an opinion. It helps us to form a knowledge system about various aspects of our routine life. That's how the media become more powerful in today's context. And that's one of the reasons why media literacy is very crucial to negotiate with the media system. So that's the critical aspect of our sessions. Representation and stereotypes are very crucial. Over the period of time, you might have noticed that some group or some individuals or some communities or some countries, some ideology must be getting a prominence. A lot of time, present in every format, dominated in most of the media platform. Whereas a lot of other institutions, other people, other countries, concepts, groups, community may be visible in a very negligible level or might be completely avoided from the media space. So you can see the differences. Some group is dominated and some group might be not visible at all or visible very marginally. So this is the issue with the representation, and even negligibly available or presented in a tokenism manner, and how it's being portrayed. So that is the stereotypes. So we look at these two concepts in a serious manner. And the justification is media is present in everywhere and nowadays become more interactive. And representation influences various ways in which we are connecting with the various stakeholders, including political discourse, social movements, and cultural inclusion. Every way the representation stereotypes matters. Political discourse or movements might take a different course of direction altogether based on the portrayal of certain things, presentation of something, and quantum of presentation of certain issues. So that makes a difference here. And there are three aspects of representations we have to see that. One is a visibility, one is a framing, last one is the voices. So visibility and framing talks about the first question, what? What kind of content? Certain groups overrepresented. Certain groups are completely invisible. dominance of upper caste, urban, male-dominated characters are quite common in Indian television system. You can apply this over simplified concept in every situation and check that. Check in your routine life about the dominant representation of certain groups. It's a male-dominated media system, particularly in Indian context, most likely in other places also. It's not like that in only the media is being dominated by male. Actually, it's a reflection of society. Where which group is dominated, that automatically the power structure is replicated in every sphere of the life. Media is one part of that, so automatically gets reflected. And the framing, visibility, I told you that, who gets more visible, or who is not visible at all. Framing is how a particular character, institutions, ideology, or group or community represented. Framing, how is being framed, how is being portrayed, how is being given to us. Maybe some people might be presented as a villain, somebody might be presented as a victims, heroes, like that. The way it's being presented over the period of time, we get influenced. We create an opinion, similar manner about those people, those groups, communities and all. So visibility is very important. The power plays a very crucial role in that process, and automatically, according to the dominant group or ideology or power structure, and those favorable position people might be presented in a different manner, and other set of people will be presented in a different manner. The last part of the representation characteristic is voice. Here the question is how it's being presented. What is being presented, we discussed, that includes visibility and framing. And here talking about how that's about voices. I mean, what kind of space is being given to them to represent their views? Are they representing dominant group? Or are they representing underrepresented, marginalized, secluded group? So marginalized groups given space to narrate the experience or not, and how authentic or how filtered this information is coming from the dominant perspectives. And consider that how caste, gender, class and religious interest is shaping in the media atmosphere. Understand that. So that makes that stereotypes, the voice and framing and visibility, these are all part of this, address those questions of what and how. Let us understand some of the basic philosophical concept of representation. The basic definition of representation says that that refers to the ways in which the media portrays people, places, events and cultural identities. It involves selection, construction and framing of reality through images, language, sound and narrative. We have repeated one concept in the entire the lecture series. Media reflects the reality by constructing the reality. It's not giving as, it's not reflecting, it's not a mirror. Media is just not a mirror. But here everything is being reconstructed. Materials are reconstructed, content is reconstructed, and messages are reconstructed. Even in one of the episodes we explained about how a news become news, the cycle of news generation from the perspective of construction of news. We have explained that, you can refer to that. So this process of reconstruction, manufacturing the content, construction of content, whatever, and it's being done by the dominant group. We have said media is a male dominated. So whichever information is coming to the media is being presented to the society from the perspective of the dominant group or dominant powerful structure, power dynamics and all. So this is the issue with the representation. Carefully, if you look at that, in a normal face value, if you look at the media content, everything looks nice. Because we are normalized to this process, because we are not looking at the media suddenly. We are exposed to the media content over the period of time. Probably the new generation might be born and brought up in the media environment. So it's everything become normal for this. It's being normalized. The power dynamics is normalized. The representation is normalized. Underrepresentation is normalized. So if you look at the critically, you can ask many questions about class, gender, class, and identities and various other aspects of the media component. And we have discussed about the importance of asking critical questions about the media content, because the very crucial part is the media interaction creates a knowledge system, and our knowledge system, and that influences our decisions. The decisions might be for personal benefits, or decisions might be for the public interest. Whatever the decision, it has to be based on our informed decisions, not by the indirectly or directly influenced by the media. Remember that, because if it's being influenced by the media directly or indirectly, definitely there must be some agenda behind those influence, some benefits for some group, some institutions, or some ideological setup. So we have to be careful about that. That's what the media literacy is talking about, critically engaged with the media and information system. And particularly asking these questions about representation and stereotypes and all. And think about certain questions about the media representations always accurate or not. Who decides what gets represented and what doesn't? You might have heard about this term gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is a part and parcel of manufacturing content. And when the media operates in a public sphere, everything may not be passed on to the society. A lot of information is filtered out. Certain informations are allowed to go to the society, because if you look at the newspaper, 24 pages must be there printing hundreds of stories. But that particular newspaper's newsroom might have received more than triple or 5 times, 10 times of the stories printed. So they discarded a lot of stories and allowed a certain number of stories to go. Who decides that? And who decides that this particular news should go, and who decides that this particular news should not go there? There are various factors involved in that. The simplest factor is news value, because the news should be relevant to the society. That's the simplest definition. We always say that. But beyond that, there are many other factors plays that. The ownership pattern, the political economic setup of the media organization, and the group involved in the operation of media. And altogether, remember that it's a business operation, profit oriented. And also we are saying that the media is dominated by certain groups, and all the sections of the society are not represented. There are visible, there are invisible factors plays a role in determining the media content. So this is the crucial question about the representation while talking about the media content. And the very crucial aspect of representation is media does not reflect a reality. It actually constructs a meaning through selection, framing, and repetition. Repetition is here the particular framing, particular portrayal is being repeated by many times by the same group, same platform, or maybe another platform, another method, another way, OTT, television, advertisements, films, memes, or shorts, or reels, everywhere. One particular ideology is being repeated again and again. We become normal to that. It's become routine for us to accept that, and we start behaving according to that particular representations. So this is very crucial part. And power is playing a very crucial role in controlling which meanings become a dominant in a society. This is a very popular quote from the Stuart Hall, and he talks a lot about the representations in the media. And the power structure is very crucial here, because the who become a dominant, so they dictate the terms and conditions of the entire discourse, the way the discourse is being happening there. So automatically certain groups are included, large number of people are not excluded in that process. And again, I'm repeating a point, media is very powerful. It's not just for entertainment purpose, it's not information provider. It influences how people think, behave, understand each other. And here only, remember that we may not have all the options to visit, interact, discuss with the various people or institutions. Largely, we do it through the communication platform, be it newspaper or WhatsApp or through other via media. So largely our opinion about other institutions based on the what kind of information we are receiving that. So it influences the whatever we are receiving, it influences how we are thinking, how we are behaving, and how we are making decisions. So here you can understand that if we are completely exposed to the hidden agendas and very strong agenda and consistently presented in various platforms to the group of people, so over the period of time, that agenda is being absorbed and gets reflected in all the behaviors and decisions. So this, if you look at the very minute macro level, it looks very good, but if you look at the micro level, it's quite problematic area, and that's why the media literacy is very crucial. While consuming the content, we should ask questions of what and how, and particularly the reality TV and television, reality TV and the television as well as digital media content, where the entertainment components are very dominant in that. And there you can really understand that how this representation is being played out openly. And you can easily notice that what kind of character is being centers around. The story might be centering around certain characters. A very simplest way, it's quite repeated in many platforms, must be familiar with you also. Particularly Indian film industry, largely, but I'm not saying everything, but largely centers around superstars. And most of the superstars are male characters. And stories are written in that way because it's more economical, and it's guaranteed that the box office collections will come because of popularity. And it's male dominated. That's how I started the discussion in this episode. And that's a classic example of how a particular group is represented. So since the one set of superstars needs to be represented, prominently highlighted, all other characters become secondary, tertiary, or invisible. Look at any particular advertisement or particular shots of popular film genre. You can understand this easily, and you can start ask questions about why this is being happening there. You will find plenty of interesting answers for that. And gender is one crucial aspect. Gender and geographical locations of rural-urban divide in the news media, you can easily understand that. Because news always, if you look at the news, always centers around the power circle. Power circle means urban. And one is they're close to the power circle, so reflect a lot of news from the power circle. Secondly, they want people who can buy, who have the purchasing power, because ultimately our time is being sold out to the corporates, and they will bombard the products. Ultimately, it's a big different. Power and economy, political economy is the crucial aspect behind the media operations. So we become part and parcel of that, because we have to spend time. We need entertainment, we need information, and they are giving free of cost mostly, or in a subsidized manner, subsidized through advertisements. So this is, if you look at the internal dynamics, you will be surprised to know more about this, how the media is being operating in that process. So this is about the representation we just talked about. Now let us briefly understand the stereotypes. This is the second aspect of the questions. What is being presented, we discussed a lot in terms of representation. How is being presented, and the qualitative terms of presentations, and how is the technical aspect of media operation. We can call it critically. We can call it as a stereotypes. Everything may not be in a stereotypical perspectives, but certain things definitely is disturbing, alarming, problematic. That needs to be understood, or maybe you and me or common people can take effort to correct it. The simplified definition of stereotype is a fixed beliefs about a group of people. A fixed belief, the dominant, existing, established belief may be correct, may not be correct. Most of the time it may not be correct on that, because the stereotypes already established, and it will go along with the flow, and is very generalized, emotionally charged, often unconscious, and it's very difficult to change that perspective over the course of time. So this is the very stubborn, sticky concept of stereotypes. And stereotypes basically reduces us individuals to narrow categories based on the traits like a gender, caste, race, location, economic status, hierarchy, whatever level. When I say in media certain people are invisible, these are the people are normally get very less time or marginalized, may not be visible at all. And that you can ask question why they are being discriminated. And the stereotypes are not just a way of seeing and thinking, they are always a way of feeling, because this is how the society functions, and that automatically gets reflected in the media system. So, but that needs to be understood in a very clear-cut manner. And stereotypes functions as a racial myth. Over time, media links certain traits with the racial groups or gender or ethnic groups so often that this become common sense, become normalized. It's become a common truth in social circumstances. That's a problematic one. And the impact of stereotypes, for example, as I mentioned about the films about stars centered around the media script and all, and they look at the other characters, particularly male female divisions and other secondary and tertiary level of characters, always presented as a powerless. And but actually in normal life there are people comes from the marginalized sections, underrepresented sections, are occupying very prominent positions, very successful stories, and they are challenged the many obstacles to overcome their struggle. Many good stories you can see that, but that's not being presented in as it is in various media platforms, because always homemakers and uneducated, aggressive, and always go committing a crime, that certain characteristics are attached with certain groups. So always you can find that. And this is not happening today or tomorrow, yesterday or today, but it's happening very long time. But that media literacy say that while we should not accept as it is, we have to challenge it. We have to ask questions about that. And stereotypes, the framing, the way it's being presented happens unconsciously, because the dominant group operates and automatically they think that this is correct. So it's come automatically while presenting certain characters, institutions, or for that matter, if you take the newspapers and see the front page news stories and see how many people are quoted. Because news is basically they'll quote certain people, source, because just to make sure that's authentic, because the objectivity needs to be maintained. How it's to be maintained, they get the reliable information from authentic sources, government sources, or people from the responsible position, stakeholders and all. And take the front page, just count how many people are quoted in the front page, any national daily or regional daily, whatever the language, just count that. You will find one interesting information that one set of people, one characteristics of people always represented. The powerful people always get represented because they have authority. They have authority to disclose information. So automatically they get prominence in the news. And what kind of those people? Just see that. And mostly it's a male dominated. Not in the new media. Even within the media, within the news, the people are quoted are always male dominated. Or if you look at the other characters, other people, they have a different set of representation. So this is the problematic area. And new stereotypes exist in the news, stereotypes exist in entertainment, exist in advertising, and it reinforces the social hierarchies and portraying some groups as dangerous, inferior, hypersexual, heterosexual, and repeated exposure makes certain racial, ethnic narratives feel familiar and true, especially for dominant audience. And dominant audience also more or less shares a similar characteristics, either having the similar characteristics or other groups started normalizing into that dominant perspectives. whichever way media is presenting. And there are three ways in which the stereotypes or representations are negotiated by the audience. One, we have discussed in detail in one of the earlier episodes. One is that we accept what media is playing as it is. We accept that. We'll normalize that. We'll accept whatever being presented. We are happy with that. We'll accept and we enjoy those entertainment. We enjoy those information and all. Second part, they will accept that, but they're contextualized within their scenario. They negotiated meaning, they'll take that. Okay, this is about information, but in my context, it may not be applicable. So it's kind of intermediary level of understanding. Third group is a rebel, means they never accept that, they always challenge the information presented to us. So this is the three set of audience we can always there. One, it's a biggest number that always go along with the media. Another marginal group of audience is okay, they'll accept that, okay, this is what media is presenting, but it may not be applicable to my context. Okay, so they may not resist, but they may not accept also. The third group is they are completely reject the media statements and they counter the media narratives. So this is the three levels of resistance always happens in the media system. And many they'll always negotiate with the meaning making process of media content. They negotiate and they'll always prefer to understand the meaning from their own perspectives of the social situations. And now let us understand briefly about, we have understood that what representation is about, what a stereotype is about. Visibility, dominant group always gets visible. Those group always get a positive framing, positive portrayal. And voice always, the media space always goes to the powerful group. The dominant group always enjoys all the benefits of media space. And dominant group is a very small segment. It may not be a majority, minority only, but they are occupying major portion of media content. And majority of the audience might be from the rural, might be from the marginalized, might be from disadvantaged sections. They are not at all visible and they may not have space, they may not be able to do that. Or within the dominant sections, different strata of the sections get represented in different manner. So this is what happening. This is what media system, and we have explained various reasons for that. How that can be challenged. It's not that easy to challenge that, and it's not easy to change in overnight. It might take a very long time. Even after a very long time, the changes might be very, very negligible point. But another very interesting aspect of that, we can't change the media system, but definitely we can change ourselves. That's the easiest way of doing that. Because let the media operates whatever way it operates, but we will negotiate the media the way we want to take the benefit from the media. That's what the media literate exposes. That's what media literacy wanted individuals to empower themselves to handle the media. Because one way of doing is audience or media users or common people empower themselves to handle the media in information system. This is one way. This is a very long time we are advocating that the empowerment of media users. Secondly, we have the system of interactive media platform, the digital social media and other platform where in which we are not content consumers, also we are producers. We can challenge the narratives. Individuals can challenge the narratives. Individual has the power to create the content through various social media platform. We can give a voice to the voiceless. So these two things can be done: empowering the individuals and participation in a more meaningful manner in the media system. So these are the two approach. Media literacy movements always advocates that empowerment and active participation. So that challenges the existing dominant representations and stereotypes media system and all. Thanks for watching this episode.